Hello. Right, time to play some 2 and 2. Long time no see. Getting the red start. Right, that it will be enemy 1, yeah. I think enemy yellow as well. Our mega health though. But not all that bad. Alright, what is coming after me? Or was it the quad that actually died? Yeah. My teammate killed the quad. Well done. Red would be now too far away for it. Right, 6 late. Yellow. First red, then yellow. Ah, he can't be strong. Why he didn't take the yellow before? Interesting. Was he really baiting me on purpose? Could be. What? So weak. We need to get to the red. Where was he? Hiding. They are so weak, both of them. That was annoying, he was hiding around the corner really well. Not having the rocket made it difficult. Right. That guy is so weak. Please take the yellow. No, he didn't. No way. Alright, at least I was able to steal the red. Now we need the yellow too. Right. One more red, a bit more. So awkward. Not really going according to the plan now. Not getting a single quad. Nice. The quad is dead. And we got the red. The yellow now. Well, he will give some. Only 10 cells though. More cells? Yeah. No! One would have been not too bad, but it was too much. Alright, that's one dead. bumping into each other all the time now with Golia here. Right, that was good. Really good. Timing that red jump is sometimes a bit challenging. Worked out this time well, and it also depends on the distance of your opponent. If he's really far away, then it's easier than if he was very close. But now, May, where are you? Not at what? I should have gotten that mega. I had the timing, I just wasn't there. Double shot, one from the main, one from the enemy. Quake dead. That's like 600 damage per second. That's 15. Right, they got the red. I think that's the yellow dead. That is the red dead. It would have been nice to steal the mega. So weak. I think I have never actually stood in that spot before. In that corner. Somehow lower than I would have expected it to be. spot, but it didn't hurt me this time. I forgot to chat just a second. Board. And the chat doesn't work. Not at least straight away. Alright, I guess I'm here. Sorry if you said something. I totally missed it. Damage. The start was really rough. We weren't able to get almost. I don't know if it was the 4th or 5th quad that we actually managed to grab. But in total, they actually got more quads than we did. Damage wise, let's see. Our 14,600 against their 13,400. Armors. We won the armor game really well. So even though they got one, that didn't really hurt us. This is also a difficult map to play without inventory because whoa, it was weak. And they got the yellow. That's not good. Okay. You got the mega as well. That is frustrating. And red dead. That's good. Big guy at yellow, but they got it. Big quad now, but I don't know if it makes even sense to try. Well, at least I stole it. Alright, that was good. That was a good spawn. Quake can't have much now. Yeah. That's the quad dead. This is the problem. I have no idea if my teammate now knows the timings of armors at all. So I'm pretty much going for the armors alone. That was good. The problem is now that they have the mega health. Even though we got all the armors. Can't hit anything. Luckily he didn't take all the cells. I didn't actually know that that was possible to make a rocket jump like that. So that, I mean, so that I'm damaging myself enough to pick up the next armor, but not really picking it up, although I was standing on top of it. Higwe is so aggressive. Sometimes it really works out well for him, sometimes not so much. It's funny that Dev is almost the opposite. Not really taking unnecessary risks. That yellow guy is weak. Nice trap there. Meter nade. Right, that's 13 red. Better go for the next quad before the next red. I would love to get this yellow. How did he score? Sorry, my bad. That guy was way too early for the red. If it's now, yep. He's weak. Too bad the mega health is there. Did he take it? Yeah. He did. Oh dear. I just have to steal the red. And okay. So weak, but such a difficult spot to shoot those rockets. Help. Yeah, I knew that he was weak. But still I'm kind of relieved that I got the kill, because that's the reflex game at that point. I just wish I had the health. Yeah. This is such an awkward room to fight in because of all the stairs. No idea where they are. So there is one. Alright, and that is red dead. That's quite an important kill. Nice. Really nice. Right, 43. Yellow. They are so weak there. Well, at least we won. Feels horrible though. Armors in Quakeworld are 20 seconds. Every 20 seconds, all the armors. Green, yellow, red. Easy to find. Okay, one doesn't have a weapon. Nice. And it's dead. So difficult without ammo. Get rid of blood much. And they are getting the quad again. That's a so annoying spot to shoot the rocket. Enemy in the downhill. Really, really difficult to do. You pretty much have to hit directs there if you want to deal almost any damage. The Quakeworld physics are like that. Stairs are horrible for rockets. My aim feels so bad anyway. Alright, that was a good quad take. Too bad he died. Right, that's red dead. Back to yellow, please. Seems like my mate is only playing for the frags somehow. Not caring too much about armors. There we go. And one spawns super fast. Again. Nice. That was a really good quad kill. Very difficult to kill quads with LT. There we were there together. We were able to bait him to shoot me at first and then worry about me only. And then Goliath joined the fight and killed me. Really nice. Oh, fuck. One would be there, but it's too late. But he's so weak. This guy's so weak as well. I wonder if the yellow is gone. Yeah, no. Okay. So that is 18. Alright, he got the red. That is really good. Really good and important. Red? Right. That is important. No, we still have a chance here. It just needs to get the frags with the quad. Go, go, go! He's just going back and forth with this quad. I'm waiting for the spawn frag. It doesn't make any sense for me to attack anywhere with only green armor. And where's he? Sitting at what already? Well, it's still not impossible. Nice. Oh dear, he's not there. And they got the mega as well. Well, that is horrible. Yeah, that's it. Attack me, please. I don't know. Feels so bad. Can't hit anything. Absolutely no control in mouse. Frustrating. Okay, again, the waiting game. Let's see if we can find a fourth. Do you happen to know, by the way, when the Quakeworld one-on-one competition starts at QuakeCon? Is it today or did it already start? I heard that they have 6 players signed up. Hello everyone. Rodden Rose and John Jones. I hope someone is, I don't know, casting the Quakeworld tournament or at least showing the game somewhere. Ah, Saturday morning. All right, thank you. Do you know if someone is casting them? I don't have any high hopes for casting though, because, well, I don't know if you watched yesterday. the official Quake champion stream was down for what, almost 3 hours, and today they are not showing the rest of the group games, but they are just playing them. I don't know if they're playing them right now or or when they are playing them, but they are not going to show them to anyone, and then they will just skip straight to the playoff bracket where they have 16 players left. I don't know what the problem yesterday was with the stream, because I at least didn't see anyone telling any official reason. So interesting stuff. Always these things with QuakeCon streams and the coverage in general. Just compared to, for example, I don't know, check how things go in Counter-Strike. Why they don't have these problems and QuakeCon always has. So they lost the whole internet. That is quite unbelievable. And well, okay, internet is one thing, shit happens. But what was up with the casting of, what is it? Sacrifice, when it started? I don't know, at first we weren't able to hear DDK and the other caster, whoever that was, I don't remember, almost at all. It sounded like they were using some microphone in the next room. And then at some point we heard them only through the left channel, and then they disappeared again. Like, didn't they test the setup at all, or what is happening? They are running a $1 million tournament, and I don't know, sound is not working. And it's not like it's the first time when they have problems with the sound. So I don't know, get a grip, test the systems before going live. Last year was not fine. Loktor was playing the Quakeworld final without sound himself. And they were blasting the music so loud that the rest of us had problems hearing the sounds, although we had them. So last year was not fine by any stretch. So I just don't understand how difficult can it be. I mean, thousands of people make it work at home. They know how to stream. They don't have sound problems all the time. It's really possible to try them out before the game start. I don't know, interesting. And it's not like they don't have the money to do it, to hire the people who know how to do it. I mean, if they have $1 million in the prize pool, so one would think that they could afford a couple of sound guys who know what they're doing. Or I don't know if it's the sound guys or who's at fault. Maybe they need some kind of person who knows how to plan things, who knows that things should be tested. I don't know. Of course, stuff can happen. I don't know if maybe some hardware broke or something, and there was. I mean, things can be totally unexpected, even if you have tested everything beforehand. But I don't know. It just feels unlikely. We need someone to play with. Ah, by the way, I bought a new keyboard. This is some Logitech G13, I guess. Uh, yeah, no, G413. 413. It's mechanical keyboard with Logitech's own Roamer G switches. And I've now played with this keyboard for about a month, I guess. And it doesn't feel horrible. But yesterday, I mean, I've had problems um, getting through certain trick maps in Quakeworld. Especially, there's a map called Hoppa 2. It's a map that is, I don't know, relatively difficult to get through, but previously I haven't had any problems with this. But with this keyboard, it has taken me a long time to get through it at even once. And I thought that it was just because I'm not used to the keyboard. But then yesterday, I just got fed up with the keyboard because it's not only the trick maps that I can't do so well with this, but it's also just movement in general in any game. So I decided to test my wife's keyboard. It's a keyboard worth maybe, I mean, the retail price has probably been less than $10. Bought in Ukraine maybe, I don't know, 10 plus years ago. And with that keyboard, the almost like the cheapest keyboard you can find, I'm able to pass this map almost every time. And I have never played with that keyboard before. So now I have a keyboard worth €100. That is, there you go. Didn't pass it, although at that point you should almost never fail it if you know what you're doing. Well, anyway, I have a keyboard worth €100. That is, I don't know, it's not useless, but for Quake, it's a lot worse than a keyboard worth $10. So, I don't know. I guess I have a keyboard for sale and I'm looking for a new one again. And this is not actually my first mechanical keyboard. I had one with red cherry switches before, and that was even worse than this. This is better than the one with red switches, but this is still not good enough. The annoying thing is that although the cheap keyboards with membrane switches mostly feel a lot better for Quake, and I mean, it's not only about the feeling, it's about the travel distance of the switch. Because that causes me to accidentally press two strafe buttons down at the same time. And in Quakeworld, it means that you lose speed when you do it. So the problem is that although membrane switches are still widely available, they don't cost almost anything. I mean, from 10 to 30 euros. The problem is that they have horrible ghosting problems. For example, one Logitech keyboard that I replaced didn't register when I pressed W, D, and C at the same time. So I was walking forward, strafing right, and trying to press coming message at the same time. So those three buttons didn't work. So I wish there was a good, durable keyboard with standard layout, with membrane switches that didn't have ghosting problems. That's what I would love to have. Uh, I actually saw a nice video. I could paste it here. Um, Sorry, I will try to find the video.
Right.
Yeah. Video by Chest NVC. He's a Quake player too. Plays at least Quake champions nowadays. Explains the problem quite well. And I have exactly the same problem. I mean, uh, it's a combination of many things, but the kind of dead space that you have there, I mean, because of the long travel distance of the Switch, you have this strange dead space after the key is already active, which means that, I don't know, you are pressing the key to the bottom anyway, although you wouldn't have to. I mean, I don't have to press this forward key, for example, now nowhere near the bottom, and I'm already moving forward. But I would be perfectly happy to cut away half of this travel distance. I mean, why do I have to have this dead distance after the key already activates? That is something that I really don't need. And also, when I release the button, the switch has to move that dead distance upwards before I stop moving. Whereas if the travel distance was shorter, I mean, the keyboard in a way would react to my actions faster. No, it's not a chiclet keyboard. It's a kind of standard membrane keyboard, a super cheap one, but it has, I don't know about the switches. They might be exactly the same, like in, let's say, in the cheap Logitech or Microsoft keyboards that you can find. But the keycaps themselves, they are a bit shorter. I mean, they are not as tall as, I don't know, for example, these keycaps. They are maybe like, I don't know, 2/3 out of this. I don't know if you can see it. It's not an autofocus camera, so, well, anyway, here is one of the keycaps from this keyboard. So they are, it's not a flat keyboard, and it's not a chiclet keyboard, but it's I think it's only the caps that are shorter, but the switches themselves are just pretty standard membrane. And I guess the height of the keycaps doesn't really matter all that much. It's the switch that determines how far you can press the keycaps and how they register. Hello, Quake to Mur. Well, the thing with the Quakeworld tournament is that Loktar is going to win easily. So I don't know if there's anything to see in that tournament. I'm, to be honest, I'm more interested in the Quake Champions tournament by far. It would be interesting to watch Quakeworld if they had more good players, but at the moment, the way it is, with 6 players signed up, I don't know. I can already tell who is going to win, and it's going to be Dirtbox or Ryu coming second and third, and then I don't know. Just not very interesting tournament because of the number of signups. Oh yeah, yeah, I heard that Dirtbox actually practiced Quake 2, but I don't know. Dirtbox can say many things, so I really don't know what it means. I don't know if it means that he really put hours into it, but anyway, even if he did, I'm sure he won't be able to give almost any kind of resistance to David. You're saying that longer travel distance in the switches feel better for typing. Yeah, it seems like many people prefer these mechanical keyboards for typing, but I really don't. At least not this one. Maybe some mechanicals with like the brown and blue switches, I believe, that have that. What do they call it when the switch doesn't go down smoothly, but there is that kind of resistance in the halfway. So maybe that kind of keyboard could work for me typing as well, but at least this Roamer G is slower for me and more tiring as well than a membrane switch. I don't remember if I have tried Quakeworld with a chiclet keyboard. Could be interesting. There are not very many models available. There is that one Razer that is in the video of Chast NVC, and then there is something from HP that they have manufactured together with SteelSeries. I don't know, would be interesting to try, but then again, now that I just bought a keyboard worth 100 euros, I'm not sure if I want to, let's say, take the financial risk again by buying chiclet keyboard, because I really don't know how it will work out for me. So I guess I will go with just a standard membrane switch keyboard that is not a chiclet one, just with normal keycaps, because I know that I can play with one as long as it doesn't ghost a lot, then I shouldn't have problems with it. Yeah, actually noticed when I was the G413 comes with these extra keycaps that are, well, I don't know how to explain this. You probably don't see in this slide. They have this kind of, well, a different shape. Let's put it that way. So I was testing them out, removing the original keycaps and putting those in, and then putting the original ones back because I didn't like the other ones. So then I actually noticed that one of the key caps was falling off by itself. But now it has been fine so far. But yeah, they really do feel thin. I don't know how durable they are. Yeah, well, I'm trying to get rid of this keyboard anyway. It's not good for me, at least. Seems like many people like it. It has received very good reviews all over the place, but not for me. And what do I think about the Quake Champions tournament? Well, if we put aside the problems they had with the stream, it's been quite interesting. I've enjoyed actually the one-on-one a lot more than Sacrifice, because Sacrifice is just, well, it can be really interesting if the games are close. Then I mean, if the games are close and they don't end somehow very fast, then Sacrifice games are interesting as well, and I actually enjoy them more than I do one-on-one. But I think at the moment the problem in Quake Champions and Sacrifice is that the rounds are too short. I mean, it's too you reach the 100% too fast. The teams should have more time to prepare for taking over the map again. I guess CTF was played in 20-minute rounds in Quake Live. And here, if you grab the soul, take it to your obelisk, I don't know how long it takes, but it's is it something like 3 minutes that it takes to win the game? It's really fast, and yes, it's chaotic. I think well, team-based modes are going to be more chaotic than one-on-one inherently. You can't make them less chaotic, I think, in that regard. But what adds to the chaos in Quake Champions is the insane amount of clutter and effects that you have on your face, especially in the big fights. Rocket explosions, particle effects when shafting and shooting any weapon for that matter. Then if you pick up the soul, you have some crazy effect on the side of your screen, and just everything in the game seems to create a huge amount of particles and explosions and lights, and it all takes away attention from the players. I mean, it's more difficult for the players to play well in that kind of environment when you can't track your opponents, their projectiles. You can't see the rockets really well, if at all. But it also detracts from the experience of the spectators because they can't see or understand what is happening either. And together with the very short games, fast-paced games, I mean, because the rounds are short, you don't have time to prepare your attacks well. So basically, if you don't have the soul, if your enemy has the soul at their obelisk, then you are forced to attack really fast and really often. So you don't have
that much coordination there, and it just feels very chaotic, and the casters don't have any chance to follow half of what is happening in the game. Yeah, totally. The game. I don't mind if the game looks good. That is not the same thing as having too much stuff on your face that you can't see what is happening. I mean, let's take, for example, some Battlefield. I haven't played the new one, but I have played Battlefield 3, at least a bit. And seriously, I think that game looks and sounds so much better than Quake Champions does. And still, almost never you have the feeling that you can't see what is happening, that you can't aim because of some crazy effect on your face, unless that effect is there on purpose. Like, for example, some grenade explosion throws sand in the air and you don't see anything. So I think that is like a game effect, but I think that doesn't belong in Quake. The rocket explosion doesn't have to obscure your view as much as it does in Quake Champions. It's just a mess. So at the moment, I've enjoyed the one-on-one more. It was really interesting to see how the big names in Quake Live actually lost some games there. Like Rafa lost to Cooler 6-0. Cooler played really well, and to be honest, I think it looks like Rafa is not very comfortable in Quake Champions. He doesn't know how to move with Anarchy or Sorlag all that well. I think even I move better than he does with those champions. He, of course, moves better with the other champions that move like Quake Live guys. And I don't know, it just seems like the players who have put in the hours to learn the special abilities of the different champions, they do a lot better. And it's really nice to see that it is not just Quake Live redone. Yeah, I really hope they fix it, because at the moment it's not good at all. And it was interesting, someone had noticed yesterday when Wu was playing Sacrifice, he was complaining during the game there. I mean, in the chat, that this game is unplayable. I would love to hear what he meant by it, because the game runs really bad for me. I have a brand new graphics card and a reasonably okay processor, and the game feels just horrible. Oh dear. Without the nade, it would have been such a good start. Well, okay, that made it better. Did someone spawn here? No.
Hallucinating.
One LG guy there. Okay, I will wait for Leo to join the fight. I hope he will. Nice.
Steal this green. Now we are in big trouble. Oh. Everything went better than expected, I guess. Not there though. Sweet LG back. Nice. Leo doing everything perfectly. It's quite sad though that Agent didn't make it to Quake. What name was that? That was ugly. Because it seemed like Agent was playing Quake Champions really well. And really put in the time to learn the game well. And he was excellent in Quake Live, but that didn't necessarily automatically make him great in Quake Champions, but he seemed to use the champion abilities really well. Nice attack. Good that he bored though. That is a good place for spamming the tube. Especially if you have the time to do it. If you're not in a hurry to get back to red, then I don't know, quite often the opponent doesn't have the patience to wait there in the tube and not push. I think he had the mega health. No! Well, okay. Take the mega then. But he died. Okay, and he got the red. That is crazy, like. But let's go fast to red. My aim is just so bad. I don't know if I played too much yesterday or what is it, but feels like I can't play today at all. Feels like I can only move my mouse in, I don't know, 3 centimeter increments. Have to aim with using only keyboard. There's one guy in red. Leo, take it. Alright, better.
it's just Dev here is playing with 140 ping and naturally playing with anti-lag then. And his LG is just unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable because of the, at least partly because of the anti-lag. It's just so nasty. I went there to green armor with pretty much full red. And before I even realized that he was shooting at me, I had already lost like a good chunk of that red, and then in the end of the LG fight it felt like I had won it fair and square. Like, normally I would have expected to have almost like half of my red armor left, but now I was almost dead. I didn't have any armor left. I had 44 health. So I really appreciate that he's playing with us. He really loves the game, and I'm happy that he is playing, but still I really wish he had a better ping for his sake and for everyone else's as well. Because of course rockets, for example, movement, everything is really bad for him, but and even LG can be in a way bad for him. But it is still annoying for everyone else. Oh, nice rocket. Hit the side of the ledge that I was standing on, and then when I jumped over the ledge, I got hit by the splash damage. I think I will just stick around for the mega health. I hope it's spawning, because sometimes it happens that the enemy gets it, goes through the cube, for example, and you don't quite realize that it just happened, and then you're waiting there. And as you already probably well know, that you can't have 2 mega healths at the same time in the Quakeworld. If it's the same mega health, then you can wait there for a very long time. Didn't want to go through the telly. Now I did. Maybe I can wait for the mega again. DM6 can be such a brutal map. Sometimes your opponent can't do anything when you're holding things. And you don't even have to be lame like I am, sitting at mega health, but you can control things very well, even if you are only sitting at... Oh, he had red. Crazy. Even at only GL, and I knew that he was there, but I just couldn't hit shit. So even by just sitting at GL and red, and just rotating between those two, making sure that your opponent can't get LG, and just running the reds, because the other team has only 1 green and 1 mega health to work with, and just like I explained, you can only have one mega health at a time. So you're making sure that you always have the higher stack, and you have a huge positional advantage as well. You have LG, which is very handy here in the mid room, and also when you don't have to attack really, you can just spam these entrances or exits, however you want to see it. But anyway, it's really easy to spam, it's easy to fall back. No one can surprise you from behind or even kind of like force you move in the other direction. So you have all the tools at your disposal. And your opponent, what do they have? They have a rocket launcher. And when you're standing here, it's very difficult to hit you. Even if you come from there, the exit there is quite narrow, and the other player, the one on the red side, has all this space to move, and he can even fall back and still flood here on the floor. So it can be really, really difficult to take this map back. And even with I don't know, two teams that are really close to each other skill-wise can have very one-sided games here. And the funny thing is that you can even have games going like, I don't know, going from being one-sided to team A, and then the next round can be one-sided to team B. DM6, DM2, DM6, 2-on-2 again. Sometimes at least, maybe even quite often, boil down to a couple of very crucial fights and maybe even spawns sometimes. Like, I don't know, if you have a fight at red, red is about to spawn, and everyone dies, and someone leaves an LG pack here, there are a couple of rocket packs, and the red spawns. Then one guy spawns here, gets it all, and I don't know, that team maybe runs away with it, especially if there is an LG pack. It makes such a huge difference, because then the guy can just come here, he doesn't have to risk going for the LG down there, and he can just lock things down here. So one spawn can make a huge difference, because then one guy standing here, he can help his teammate to go get back to red, and the teammate will get the next red, and this guy with the LG and rocket can help that other guy get the LG as well. And after that, it's very difficult for the other team to come back. And similarly, winning those crucial fights. Red is about to spawn. Just, do I win this fight or not? And if you don't, then the same can happen. Let me check the chat. Someone rage quitting a match because of stuttering. I totally understand. I rage quit today from free for all. Just because the game feels so bad that I just don't want to play it. It's just not enjoyable. I bought a new graphics card for almost 700 euros so that it would run better, but it doesn't. I mean, it runs better, but it's still horrible. So it's just, I mean, I want a smooth FPS experience. That alone is not enough, but that has to be there for me to be able to enjoy a game. Counter-Strike Global Offensive is really smooth. I guess 1.6 would have been even smoother. Quake 1 is smooth. Quake 2 is smooth. Quake 3 was smooth. Quake Live is smooth. Reflex, perfectly smooth. CPMA, Orso, all of them are really, really slick and smooth. That is not a problem in those games. But Quake Champions, it just feels like crap in that regard. There are many things that I like about Quake Champions, but they really have to fix the FPS problems, the stuttering problems, the ping problems, the, I don't know, rockets that are not getting registered because of the lag or whatever, for me to enjoy the game. I don't know if someone else can enjoy the game the way it is, but for me, those things come first. I see unbelievably many forum posts about skins not working. I lost my loot. I lost my whatever legendary tail or helmet, my character, and I really couldn't care less. It just, I don't know, it just feels silly to me. But apparently those things are important to some, and unfortunately, the developers are catering to their needs at the moment, it seems, more than the needs of the players who actually maybe know how to play the game really well. Yeah, I have a GTX 1080 and it's not enough. I mean, it's not about the graphics card. It's not about my processor. It's about the game. The game just doesn't run smooth. I could have more RAM, I guess. I heard 16 gigabytes helps because the game has a shitload of memory leaks. It doesn't really need 16 gigabytes, I guess, but if you're leaking memory constantly, then I guess you do. I guess you need 100 gigabytes in that case, if you play long enough. And yeah, I hope the problem is that the servers are getting overloaded. I mean, I've heard about the upload stuff during the game, so I hope that is the problem. Yeah, I've noticed that it uses a ton of CPU. The funny thing is that the recommended CPU for Quake Champions is some AMD FX processor or i5 2400. But I guess a processor like that wouldn't really run the game all too well. And I really want to buy a better processor because I tried to stream Quake Champions once and nope, not with 4-core, 4-thread processor. I also heard about AMD Ryzen having problems with, I don't know, certain kind of compilations at least. I'm not sure yet if it's a problem in the GCC compiler, or if it's a Ryzen problem, but it doesn't sound very good. If there is really a problem with the processor, that it just doesn't, I mean, it can't handle the calculations when you are really loading it. there's some kind of shell script that is running multiple compilation processes at the same time, and it causes Ryzen's to give segmentation faults pretty quickly even. Doesn't sound very promising. So I guess I'm waiting for the Intel Coffee Lake processors and hope that they are, first of all, good, not too expensive, and that they will release them as fast as possible. Right, some aim warm up then. This is needed, I can't hit anything today. There you go. I hope now that they will be done with the QuakeCon pretty soon, well after this weekend. I hope they will start fixing the, I don't know, game mechanism issues, like the poor visibility, too much stuff happening on your screen, and I mean, maybe they haven't changed those things now because of QuakeCon tournament. But on the other hand, there is always, or not always, but at least at the moment, there's the next tournament coming. So I don't know, if they're not ready to change these things before tournaments, then when are they going to change them? Because I don't know, hopefully there will be always the next tournament coming up. But anyway, I hope they fix the game. At the moment it's promising. I would love to play some team-based mode in it, but it just runs so bad and I can't see anything in the game. In those big fights that are important. Those things just kill it for me at the moment. I also hate that there is no team damage. In Sacrifice, it just feels ridiculous how you can just spam away as much as you want and you don't have to care about your teammates at all. Especially with Rocket, just shoot somewhere and hope an enemy is there without worrying about your teammates. Yeah, well, the problem is that I don't know if they realize that it's not nice for the spectators if they don't understand what is happening in the game. I mean, check how many viewers there are in CSGO, or let alone League of Legends or Dota 2. There are millions, well, in CSGO I guess around 1 million viewers in the finals, and I don't know about League of Legends, but at least in Dota they have a lot more than that. So I don't know, I guess you should try to learn something from those games. And they are not very beautiful games. They are not ugly, but they are functional. The spectators can follow the game. They can see everything that is happening. You don't have all the particle effects in CSGO. It looks quite basic, but everyone can see what is happening. Everyone can see the headshots, appreciate them, but just imagine if, I don't know, you shot with an AK and there was some kind of muzzle flash that covered everything and no one could see anything, and then you just read the kill feed and oh okay, yeah, you got a frag, but no one saw actually what happened, where was he? I guess it wouldn't be very interesting for anyone, or at least not for many. So that is happening in Quake Champions at the moment. There's so much stuff on the screen that even following the death messages is quite impossible at times. Nice trick. Fooled me there. .56 directs. Leopold doesn't really move too well, so it's easy to hit him. don't know how he went to lava in that situation as well. Because I didn't shoot him there, it just, I don't know. Looked as if the ground was made of ice instead of, I don't know, whatever Quake material it is. It just slid there. Not bad. Yeah, sacrifice at the moment, it is very difficult to follow. Even with people like DDK casting it. There's just so much happening all the time that I don't know, it just somehow feels unfortunate that someone can have a very beautiful, let's say, quad run or soul steal, and quite often you won't get to see it because it all happens, I don't know, in the middle of all that chaos. It's very difficult to follow, and the casters don't have the time to explain what is happening, even if they understood themselves. I mean, DDK probably, or I'm sure he understands and realizes a lot more things than he has time to say. So, well, that is going to be a problem with almost any kind of team-based mode, I guess, in an arena FPS game. Casting Quakeworld 4-on-4 is not easy, but I think it's still somehow less chaotic than sacrifices. One thing I forgot to mention is the weapon spawn times, because weapon spawn times are so short. It means that you almost all the time get to a weapon. You always have a weapon, and then when you get a weapon, you have a lot of champions who can even get very big amount of armor. Let's say Anarchy Nix, Slash, for example. So all that combined means that you don't have any reason to slow your game down. I mean, in Sacrifice, you're almost never going to have all the weapons anyway. You just have to kind of like stick to what you have, or what happens to be the closest weapon. Because although the weapons are kind of situational in Quake Champions, almost all of the non-starting weapons are somewhat useful, and you can find uses for them in Sacrifice quite easily. So you really don't have the reason to slow your game down, and I think that adds to the chaos. You are almost always ready to go after you spawn, or within 5 seconds of you spawning. So instead of, I don't know, concentrating on item control, you just rush in. I don't know, and just that is chaos. You don't have to care about timing items so much. There are the power-ups that you have to kind of time, but it's super easy because it's every, I don't know how they changed it, but it used to be every 2 minutes. I don't know, they need somehow more structure. I think that if the weapon respawn time was longer, then you would have some kind of chance to control the weapons, control at least some part of the map, and you would have to make choices between defending or attacking the obelisk, or maybe attacking a certain area with, I don't know, big armor or an important weapon before attacking the obelisk. But now it's just almost straight obelisk rush all the time, except for the times when power-ups are spawning. And even then, if the power-up is quad, it seems like some teams just opt to stay at the obelisk. And that is just super one-dimensional gameplay, in my opinion. And I heard actually Leopold here telling me that sync error or someone else who is in the development team at the moment for Quake Champions doesn't like TDM at all. I don't know if that means that they don't like any team-based modes or if it's only TDM, but then in Discord someone else said that they are very much interested in the team aspect of the game as well, so we'll see. I just hope they first of all realize that people want to play together with their friends or together in a team, and also that to create an interesting team-based game mode, you need to change things. Can't be sacrificed. I mean, at least not the way it is now. I think at least I would even dare to say that I think most of the players who are playing Sacrifice there at QuakeCon are playing it because of the money. If the money wasn't there, they would be playing either some other game or some other game mode. But there's a lot of money there, so go figure. Oh, they removed the fall damage completely. Okay, I thought that it was only for Anarchy, but yeah, that's interesting. Whoa, nice hits. Oh, Leo is having the game of his life. another, in a way, annoying thing in Quake Champions is that one-on-one runs pretty smoothly, at least on my gear. So that is pretty much the only game mode that feels, I don't know, somewhat smooth. And also, you don't have that butter problem in one-on-one almost at all, because you have only that one guy to keep track of, and there's not so much spam. So there's a lot less stuff happening on your screen, and you can actually keep track of your opponent at all times. So one-on-one works at the moment so much better than anything else, at least in my opinion. I don't know, why do you think that fall damage is a leftover from single player, and why do you... I mean, I don't have a strong opinion either way, but why do you think it's such a good thing? Like, how... Did it hurt you somehow? I mean, or disturb you somehow in, I don't know, Quake Live, Quakeworld? It is a very minor part of Quakeworld. The fall damage doesn't really matter almost at all, but, and like I said, I don't have a strong opinion either way. But sometimes it's nice when you have to think about it a bit, and maybe it's not the health that you lose because of fall damage, but it's the sound that you make. The sound clue that you give your opponent. That is, in my opinion, quite important. Because at least in Quakeworld you make a different sound depending on how you fall. If you break your ankle, your opponent is going to hear it. But like I said, it's not so important. Just a minor detail. Come on. Almost. That would have been a nice frag. Had I hit the last rocket. Well, doesn't that argument work the other way as well. If it doesn't matter, then why do you have to remove it? And yeah, okay, that's good to hear that you still make the sound. But I guess it's always the same sound in Quake Champions then. Because in Quakeworld you make a different sound depending on if you hurt yourself or if you just take a fall. So you can, based on the sound, your opponent knows if you fell a long distance or a short one. And here is the fall damage, I died. That was a good frag. I think 3 direct hits on the ground and then that mid-air. A lot of damage there. One direct hits. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, sure, it adds to the game, but like I said, I don't find it very important. Yeah. You can get rid of it, I don't care. Not going to break or make the game for me. Alright, 50-second TDM weapon spawn time. Well, What was it before? I think I have played. Well, I have played TDM and it felt fast. I mean the weapon spawn time. Well, I wouldn't remove drowning from Quakeworld because it has been there. Just like I wouldn't remove the fall damage from Quakeworld either because it has been there. In a new game, I don't know, I would just get rid of liquids in general. I mean, you can have lava or whatever slime, but other liquids, I think, that's good riddance. I think you don't really have to swim in Quake for it to be a good game. In Quakeworld, liquids are quite important because of the discharges. But drowning, if there is swimming, then I don't really care either. I mean, yes, it makes a difference if water is such an element in the map that you don't want someone to be able to hide there. If it's not transparent, for example, then yeah, I guess drowning is a good thing to prevent players from spending all the time underwater. I don't know why they would anyway, but I don't know, I guess it depends on the map design. And then you can design the maps based on the game design. I mean, if drowning is there, then you can maybe take it into account while designing your maps and vice versa. Yes, liquids really slow you down in Quakeworld. The funny thing is though that you can swim up and down pretty fast. But yeah, it slows you down and you can't jump in water. So you can't bunny. So it slows you down significantly. And I have to say that I would hate a Quake map where you were in water all the time. Although, now that I say such a thing, I have actually made a map that is just a box full of water. And, well, it's a DMF4 map. Spawn in the water and use only SNG. It's a map for practicing SNG fights in water. Or you can use any weapons actually. It's quite interesting that quite often in water, in that map at least, because it's not very big. SNG is better than rocket launcher. You have to be quite sure that you're going to hit a direct hit, or you're not hitting at all, because you're in the liquid. And with SNGs, it's really easy to track your opponent, because he can't move very fast. So it's quite an interesting map in that regard. Maybe good for practicing DM3 fights. You don't usually have a rocket there. You don't want to take such a risk in DM3 going to water with a rocket launcher, but quite often you have SNG there fighting against maybe SG or SSG. So it's nice to practice. Or useful at least. I don't know if it's so nice. I guess I would be playing the map more if it was as nice as I just made it out to be. Yeah, all water LG map. Yeah, that would be actually interesting in one-on-one, I guess. I mean, if you played it in DMM4 and without the spawn protection bent, I guess if you by accident somehow discharged when the opponent hasn't spawned yet, then you could lose the game, but otherwise I think it would be pretty even. Nice rocket hit. The funny thing about the keyboard of my wife's that I told about earlier is that the keyboard doesn't have any brand. There's just some kind of text on the bottom that says that it's been manufactured in China, but other than that there's absolutely nothing there. So it would be quite difficult to find such a keyboard, I don't know, online, if I wanted to buy the same. Yeah. There are quite a few maps with relatively big water areas in Quakeworld. In DM3 you have water, in CMT1B you have water, then there is a map called Grim where you have water. And E1M2 you have a lot of water. So actually 2 out of 3 TB3 maps in 4 and 4 have water. And also CMT4 has water. Quite a lot of it. And CMT5 has water as well. So there's quite a lot of water in Quakeworld if you compare to Quake Live, for example. In Quake Live I can remember water in some CTF maps and one DM map. Other than that, maybe there is water, but I just don't remember. Yeah. The MT4 has red in water and it does get discharged quite a bit. Yeah, in Quake 3 water movement is really slow. Now that you said it, I remember. It really is. Alright, I need to wake up because Orc here is a lot better than my previous opponents. Nice rocket. Too bad I didn't spawn on any of the other 2 spawns. I would have been able to keep him in lava after the direct. No, I was too far. Right. He seems to be coming through the telly quite directly. Have to use that next time when he spawns there to time my rocket. Well, okay, now he doesn't come straight through. Well, good for him. It's always good to vary the way you play. Somehow feeling really, I don't know, sleepy or just not being able to concentrate. Luckily, I'm not there at QuakeCon. Would be a horrible state of mind to play a tournament game. Although I guess a tournament game would wake me up a bit better than a random end. Come on. Don't jump there on the side of the map. Not very fair. I don't know if it's fair, but it's not nice, it's boring. Oh. Alright, better now. Now that he's standing on the on the starting locations, I'm going to start spamming them. That usually works. Like that, yep. There he is. Maybe, hopefully that will teach him. I don't usually start spamming those spawn points before my opponent starts camping there. Because I think the spam is not very nice either, but yeah, there he is. And again, he's in lava. Well, that's a good lesson for him, I think. 2 times in a row. And there's the fall damage again. It is important in Quakeworld after all. 2 deaths already. Four frags and now 6 frags. A bit better at least. Alright. Orc here likes to play a map called Traveler. Oh, well, not anymore. He used to like to play it against me. He actually beat me there a couple of times, and then I started beating him, and here we are. He doesn't want to play it anymore. Okay. Oh, there's no one to play with. We played a lot of Quake yesterday, I think. Like 8 hours or something. Hands are hurting. Which map would that be? DM4 or the Traveler? Alright. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Traveler. I can jump around a bit. There are a couple of annoying things. First of all, these textures, they are horrible. It's really hard to make out where the, I don't know, the brushes are. For example, there's that hole. Really difficult to make out where it actually is if you're here and you want to shoot through it. Quite difficult. And then I feel like it's too easy to get to weapons from spawns and to items as well. There are a lot of spawns around this area, for example. It's really easy to get to. There's a spawn at nade. It's really easy to get hold of nade, and then somehow quite often you seem to get very annoying crucial frags straight after your spawn. You spawn either next to this nade here, or you spawn next to this rocket, and then I don't know, the other player has just killed you in an even fight, has won the fight, and then just because you spawn in an advantageous position, you get a frag, and quite often that frag is quite free. So the player who won the first fight is actually now losing. So that is what I don't like. Then there's the void, of course, that just kills you right away. And no matter what you have, quite horrible if you have 200, or even just red, and your opponent happens to hit that lucky rocket, and then you fly somewhere here and bam! All of it gone. Not very, I don't know, feels quite horrible. Then there's... what is happening with my computer? FPS drops. Well, then there's this. You can go to places like this in the map. Also quite horrible. I think you can't go there, but yeah. Here, for example. I don't know. I don't like it. Not at all. Then this place. It looks like, or it looks as if you should get out from here, but no, you can't because of this. You can luckily at least get out, but the whole slime thing here, it's just really annoying, and the only way to really get out is this way. And then even from here, you have to make this not a difficult jump, but if you are in a fight, you are most probably not going to make it. For discharges, I guess it can be quite interesting if you just jump here on purpose and bam. And then there's this path going here. I don't know, it's just not very nice. And the map is full of these slopes, and I'm not a big fan of these slope mechanisms in Quakeworld. They make things awkward. Would be nice to have anarchy here. He would just slide up. I'm from... originally from a town called Hollola in Finland. Then I lived for a long time in Tampere. It's the third biggest city in Finland, and now I'm living in Bucharest in Romania. I lived in Switzerland for a year, in Freiburg, about 2 years ago. And now I'm here. And I don't know for how long. I told my wife that I don't want to live in Bucharest more than 2 years, so I don't know, in a year I should know where we are going next. Come on. Someone play. By the way, I was thinking about creating smileys for subscribers. I don't know if I will ever have any subscribers, but there are smileys for subscribers, it says you probably know even better than I do. And there are 3 levels of them, and I have 2 ideas that I could create. I actually created already 1 set. But it might be too much of an inside joke and not so funny for other people. It's my face there wearing this. I guess you guys know what is chainmail. So then when you make a hat out of that same material, it's called a coif. So as a teenager, I made a coif and a couple of chainmails myself. So there was a picture of me wearing that coif, and it looks ridiculous. It's not, I don't know, your piece of fashion clothing. And then the guys at SSC, the clan that I played with, a Finnish clan, they made some frag movies. And on the bottom left corner in Quakeworld, usually you see in the HUD, you see some kind of icon telling that what kind of armor you are having. Green, yellow, or red. So in those SSC frag movies, they used my face there wearing the coif, colored red, yellow, or green. So I was thinking about using that same face icon as a smiley in Twitch for subscribers, but I don't know if it's such a good idea. Then another one would be, I don't know, ring, quad, pen, 3 power-ups of Quakeworld. To create some kind of smileys for those. I don't know. Let me know what you think, what would be better. Or something totally different. Those are the 2 ideas that I have. I can actually paste you a link to one of the frag movies. I don't know if you've seen it. Right there. And for example, 304, you can, or I could have copied link to that. There you can see My beautiful face wearing a coin. In yellow. So I was thinking about having 3 of those. Green, yellow, red, or... Well, green should be of course cheapest. Dead cheapest. Red is so weak. And yellow took quite a bit of damage as well. Okay, both armors dead, that is good. He should be quite quick as well, yep. Nice. Waiting for the red now. Yellow is dead anyway, and he is wreaking havoc. They might have the Mega though, but not anymore. And now I can get the yellow. Yep, perfect timing for it. There, for example, I actually didn't have the exact time for the yellow, but I just had this gut feeling. I just knew, like, okay, it's about to spawn. That's how I quite often play Quake. If I can, I try to get the exact times of items, but if I can, then I at least try to have this, I don't know, order of items, or then some kind of gut feeling on when items are going to spawn. Now, for example, well, I can time it is 18 for yellow, and just before that it's red. So the order is quite often a lot more important than the exact time. And now yellow is there. 19 now. Oh! Nigva just killed the whole team with SG out of a spawn. Yellow would be there now, and they got it. I knew that the guy was there. I was hoping that he would be a bit further away from the yellow so I could get the frag before he got to the yellow. Right now it's 7 late. That is a really frustrating situation when you have almost like total LG control and then you just don't sync up with your teammate. You both either look at the same place or maybe one of you don't look anywhere. So there it happened that I'm not sure if he was staring at the yellow spawn area as well or where he was looking at, but anyway, I ended up fighting completely alone and they got the LG for free. And it's not necessarily his fault. Oh. Just, it's frustrating when it happens. That is, by the way, something quite interesting and worth noting in the M4, that if there are 2 enemies standing on top of LG, then quite often it happens that usually sooner than later one of them will try to jump next to quad, and then it's very handy to wait under there for the jump to happen or an easy LG frag. Nice. That's red hit. Alright, now red is 11 and yellow 18. Go yellow now. But I'm not in a hurry to go there because it's a teammate. Still not in a hurry. No, I was. Oh, not like that. Alright, too late, more late. Now it's nice. Well, okay, he left really fast, but had he waited for an armor there, it would have been really easy to just attack. And prevented them from getting any armor whatsoever, because I had the exact times. And then when you have the exact times, it's so much easier to plan the attack as well. Whoa! Nice. Nice rocket there. So 6 late and about 8 late. So 6 yellow first, then right after that it's red. Alright, 10. That's actually one of the best ways to get that frag. It usually doesn't work, but dealing just a bit of damage before the opponent gets to the armor, and then finishing him off before he gets the armor. Of course it's situational, sometimes even quite often, most often you want the armor yourself, so, or your teammate wants it, so you want to kill the opponent before he gets the armor at all. But sometimes, like in that situation that I had, I'm pretty sure that my teammate was not coming for the armor, and I didn't want it, or I couldn't even take it myself either. So it was really handy that the opponent actually took it, because then I don't have to guard the armor anymore. I don't have to worry if an opponent is getting to the armor or not. First LG ever. Okay, that was a bit better. 125. Almost 15k damage. Not all that bad. 38% LG. Could have been worse. Yeah, the bad thing about the smiley candidate is that that is I think the only version that we have left of the picture. We don't have the original anymore. So the resolution would be very bad. Yes, that's a good frag. Oh. Okay, let's say that I did that on purpose. And he was kind enough to open it for me. Nope. Absolutely not. Now getting this next spot will be difficult, especially when they're hitting rockets like that. That was annoying. And T hates me for that spawn. The best block ever. That was quite amazing. Going for the red, and then I don't know, he somehow stepped a bit out of this ledge here, and I just hit him instead of the ledge. Horrible. I heard him make some noise there. That was actually the fall sound now. So I knew that he was coming. That was a good rocket. Quite often Quake is about hitting those rockets that I like to call somehow static. When you're not aiming at your opponent really, but you are aiming at a certain structure. I'm totally tilted. What was he doing? Just, I don't know, just moving on my face, just really annoying. It's so difficult to shoot anything when you have your teammate moving like that. So axe tilt soon. No way! His quad run is just sitting at NG. Well, I guess it works when Nikve is here, but yeah. I think that is a relatively safe thing to do. Okay, he would have a weapon. I would need help now. Well, okay, there is a good example of how and why it is difficult to hold low rocket. Nikve do? Why wasn't Nikve at the quad? That is really strange. It definitely should have been at quad. So now, for example, I can see that my main as it was at GL, so I couldn't really tell if he was going to get his quad or not. And although I had a lot of rockets and everything under control at low, I still had to kind of, I don't know, I think it was a good idea to leave low to make sure that we get the next quad. And now they are falling through telly, and okay, my mate even died. I really can't move with this keyboard, by the way. So anyway, now I'm again forced to leave the low. I'm just telling this because some people lately have been complaining to Henu and I, especially Henu, that we are being lame in DM2 because we sit at low rocket. And I'm just not having any of it. I think that is exactly what you should do here. And where do you, if you're not allowed to stay at low rocket, then where do you draw the line? Like, how do you tell where you can actually sit? Like which part of the map are you allowed to control? Why can't you sit at low if you can hold the telly area? Right, rocket jump, rocket jump. No, he's not coming. Boring. Nikve right now is in a state of mind that I like to call axe tilt. Usually axe tilt includes running around, hitting the air with your axe, but I think that qualifies. You can tell that he's not really concentrating on the game all that much. He's just rushing forward, being a very easy target in general. Like there. I think it didn't really make much sense. And I bet he's coming from here. Let's wait. Well, okay. Maybe he's not full tilt mode yet. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. There actually what I could have done with the red in the box. I could have delayed it a bit to make sure that the opponent is not getting the next red before the quad. But thankfully they are not coming from that side. Yeah, that was a teammate. Not a good move. I think that was 200-200. Let's go and give him the easy frag. Oh! Yes, survived. Nigve has had very rough Quake times yesterday and today. It seems like, or it seems like today as well. Although he did beat Lord Lane today. Okay, I think it actually could be it for me. I need to eat something. I hope to stream again. I don't know when. I mean, there are two problems with streaming at the moment. First of all, it's difficult to find games. But even more so, it is just too hot here. I don't know. Again, 30.1 degrees Celsius here inside. Usually it's bearable because I'm not wearing my shirt. I don't want to stream without my shirt. No one wants to see that. And I have my table fan blowing on my face. But no one wants to listen to the fan in the stream. So here we are. I don't know, it would be nice to have an air conditioner in this room, but we don't, so I don't know what the solution could be. Maybe winter. That should be a good solution. Winter and open the window. But yeah, alright, that's it. Good games. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry, I was feeling somehow sleepy, not so talkative. In the end, I maybe woke up a bit with the 2-on-2. Alright, see you next time.